What's up, boys and girls? Old Uncle Toot back with you once again for another gold price forecast video for 2023. In the last video, Sensei Hove alerted you to a potential trade setting up on the horizon that could yield more than a 10% price move. In that video, he told you that there should be a wave 1 or wave A resolving in this very area that price has reached so far before retracing and then beginning the long trade. Well, let's get down on the micro and see how it progressed. All right, down here on the micro, we can see that we have formed what has looked like a very impulsive move off the low, but we've really gotten bound up at the top here in a price exhaustion type of environment. And this might be a little cluttered and distracting labeling. However, we can see that there's a clear case for a fifth wave diagonal being put in that proposed impulse. And in the green, we can see that there's a clear case for a Wyckoff distribution, which is a topping pattern. Of course, there's a potential that these things could go awry, and we'll cover that in a moment. However, with these standing out so sharply, I think that with one more potential higher high to come that will only take us barely higher than the top of the current range, we will then project for retracements that will take us down to high probability retracement areas to look for that juicy C3 trade that Sensei Hove's been telling us about. All right, before we get into talking about where price would come into the high probability area for a long, let's talk about what might keep it from ever making that entry point before continuing on in the direction of the trade, but without our entries. Well, first, we need to identify an algo series in play, which I've done here. You'll see that it starts in a very random spot. It's not random at all. If you want to know the secret sauce to that, you're going to have to join the Discord and check out the measured moves training videos that I've put up, and most recently, the advanced video on how to trade measured moves specifically. Anyway, we've got that series identified, and then we show that a 50 entry for an algo would be setting up in this area if we didn't make another high. If we make another marginal higher high, it's going to set up anyway right at the bottom of that Wyckoff range that I was talking about. Now, if price drops down out of the top of this range, but instead of swiftly falling out like we would expect in an ending diagonal or at the conclusion of a Wyckoff distribution pattern, and instead makes marginally lower lows and then marginally lower highs, and price starts to contract to the downside, we'd look for potential for a reaccumulation pattern in the Wyckoff realm, followed up with the series of measured moves taking us on in the more bullish direction. And in fact, at that point, we could expect that this would be a 1-2-1-2 in play. However, that is not the primary expectation, but just keep an eye on it before we expect to see our high probability retracement area for the nice juicy C3 trade. All right, guys, the all-important retracement into the confluence area for the long trade that we've been talking about. This is the most key part of any trade, is the setup to get you into your entry area. And if you want to stay up to date and know our current thoughts on this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you see all of our thoughts and videos like this. All right. As you see here, we have the 50 retracement for the all the way half back of the entire move. And of course, this high could rotate higher if we do get that one more little spike up. And of course, then we've got the pitchfork of the larger move that I had showed you in the zoomed out degree, as well as this zone of previous price action that has shown that this should be a zone of demand for the coming supply. And with all of these confluence factors lining up, we should have a great entry. Of course, we're going to want to see that Elliott Wave pattern, that corrective pattern set up nicely into that zone. So again, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get to keep up to date with our latest thoughts and if we're in the trade or not. All right, boys, stay safe out there. This is going to be a good one. Toot out.